How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now that we've seen the Lions absolutely demolish the Reds 52-12 today, I wanted to break down the player ratings and the reasons why. So, as always, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's break this down. So, I'm going to start 1 to 15, and then we make our way from there. So, first up, Andrew Porter. I wouldn't say he's had the best of games. Personally, I'd give him about a 6. And that might be me being a little bit generous. Yes, he did manage to get himself a try. We could potentially bump it up a little bit because of that, but ultimately, I feel his handling of points weren't the best. His rucks, his scrummaging wasn't the best at points. I think he had an all right game, nothing spectacular, which is weird considering how good Andrew Porter is on a general basis. But for me, he didn't exactly have the best of games. So for me, it's a 6. Ronan Kelleher, I'm giving him a 5.5. He was just as what's the word? Costly when it came to handling errors and unnecessary mistakes and things like that. He didn't exactly have the best of games. I'm going to give him a 5.5 for this. Honestly, he just never got going. Ball carrying, lineouts, I feel they weren't at to that same level that we normally do tend to see him. Will Stewart, I love Will Stewart, and I think he's an absolutely amazing player. He flopped this game. He really did. I mean, unnecessary bits at unnecessary times. And I don't know, I just felt he was tired. He just didn't feel like he was up and ready for the game. All in all, he just was not that effective. But moving on from there, we got Maro Itoje. I'm giving him a 9.5, a proper captain's performance. The guy, he played absolutely brilliantly from start to finish. Like I say, led by example. He was an absolute nuisance. He was winning every single 50-50. He was ball carrying ridiculous. He was in the build up to Hugh Jones' try as well. And he gave you everything that you want. Big tackles, right? He was there when he was needed most. He rallied everybody behind him to get the best out of them, especially at the end with what we saw with Gary Ringrose's try, where instead of going for the penalty, he went for the try. Yeah, brilliant. Ollie Chessum, I'm going to give him a 6. I do feel that he played all right. He had a pretty good game. I did enjoy it when James Ryan ended up coming on, but fairly good all round. I wouldn't necessarily have anything bad to say about him. I wouldn't have anything good to say about him either. I mean, he did show some good handling here and there. He was also in the build-up to Fundamental's try, but it was a good game. Nothing special. So I'm going to give him a rating for an average game. Tom Curry. Tom Curry was a weird one because normally you see Tom Curry so efficient, heavy hitting, hard, running through walls and breaking down buildings to get to the ball. He just kind of felt flat today. I don't know if it was the weather or what it was, but he just didn't feel like he was up for it. He was ready for it. Like I said, at times he felt flat. His tackling was weak. And it's not very often you see Tom Curry really miss that many tackles. I'm taking this just as an off game for him, considering we know just how effective and consistent he is. So I'm going to give him a 5. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 5. Jack Morgan, however, I'm giving this guy a bloody 9.55. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 9.9. As close to a bloody perfect game as you can get. He got a try. He got something like 16, 17 tackles. He got a couple turnovers. He got, a couple line breaks as well. I think he ended up beating, I think it was 1 or 2 players as well. So he had an all-out brilliant game. Jack Morgan was just on it. He was ready to go. He was on fire. Um, yeah, Jack Morgan, go you, man of the match, well deserved. Jack Conan, I'm going to give Jack Conan a 9 as well. I really enjoyed his performance, an experienced performance. He gave you everything that you could potentially want. He's a big, big ball carrier, absolutely fearsome when he got on the ball. He kept control of that back row. He frustrated the Reds as well, and he was actually pretty good. Even with his handling, he was pretty good. He showed off some good passes, showed off some good running, showed off brilliant tackling, and yeah, I'm giving Conan. I'm giving Conan a 9 for that performance. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, kind of nailing down that number 8 spot for him in the build up. Now move on into the backs. I'm going to give Gibson Park a solid 7. Honestly, I felt he had a good game. Again, nothing necessarily bad to say. He had some brilliant passes. He managed to keep tempo. I just feel he needs a bit more time, right? He needs more time. Got to have that little bit more effort. Um, he's going to take a little while to get back into the swing of things. But like I say, this is something that's going to come with time. Um, this is something that's really, really going to click. Once he has a little bit more time playing with everybody, getting some game time under his belt, because he's just coming off of an injury. He's finding his feet, and I'd say it's a pretty solid performance for what it was. So I'm going to give him a 7 on that. Finn Russell, I'll give him an 8.5. Finn Russell, he's consistent. He's the only player that actually kept his spot for good reason. He still put in a brilliant, brilliant performance. Yeah, he only missed like one kick. Yeah, I think he only missed like one kick at goal. Obviously, he's consistent. He's got brilliant players around him, surrounding him, making his life easy. Once he has things making his life easy, he starts to shine. And he's brilliant, absolutely, absolutely brilliant. I'm giving him an 8.5 because I feel he had a brilliant game, but at moments he lacked. At moments he felt like he wasn't really switched on. Um, but again, that can be fatigue. That can be a whole different other couple of things. I mean, he just came off of a triple winning season with Bath. The guy's bound to be fatigued. You can't expect him to play at that same elite level constantly, and then finish the season and then go and take him to an international tour and then still playing at those same levels. So 8.5, played well. But we have seen him play better. But we've got to take in consideration how long his season has been. Into my wings, Duhan van der Merwe, he made far too many mistakes. He managed to bag himself a try, but too many mistakes. He was off. I think when James Lowe comes in, we are going to be. I think for the tests, we are going to end up seeing Freeman at 14 and James Lowe at 11. I just feel that Duhan hasn't done enough in the games that he's played to solidify a position for Australia. I just don't. I can't see that happening. I just cannot see that happening. So, yeah, he just felt off the mark today, and he hasn't been at his best in this Lions tour. He just hasn't. So, yeah, even though he got it, even though he got himself a try, I'm giving him a 5. And then Tommy Freeman, I'm going to give him a solid 8. Yes, he had a pretty good game. Managed to bag himself some tries as well. Very good in the air, as we normally do tend to expect. He did have a couple. Mistakes. Ran into a lot of traffic at points. I felt like his passing wasn't necessarily very much on point, but yeah, he had a good game. He had a very, very good game. And I find we finding this more consistently with Tommy Freeman, right? He's consistently getting better and he's playing more consistently good throughout the season. So, yeah, I think he has definitely solidified his slot at 14, in my opinion. Obviously, he's going to be fighting for that spot up against Mac Hansen, but I just feel Tommy Freeman has this. Centers, Bundy Aki and Hugh Jones. I'm going to give them both a solid 7 because I think they didn't set the world on fire, but they actually had a pretty solid game. Hugh Jones more than Bundy, but obviously Hugh Jones managed to get himself a try as well. But you know, he managed to expose space, which was brilliant. But I still feel like there wasn't that sharpness, and I think it was for both players. There wasn't that sharpness, like what we see when we see Tui Pelutu play. You know, they felt a little bit off the mark, but still were able to put in a pretty good performance. So I'm giving both of them a solid 7. And then my 15, I'm giving that to Elliot Daly. Elliot Daly, in my opinion, actually had a pretty good game. Very underrated player. His performance was kind of marred by a little bit of a niggling injury. He does seem to have hurt his arm. I don't know the exact extent of it. I think there was something like where he hit his elbow or something like that. We're going to find out later on in relation to his injury, but hopefully he doesn't get sent back home because he's a very versatile player. He can play along the back three, and he would be a big loss to have someone that is so versatile get injured just after Thomas Williams got injured as well, you know. So hopefully it's only something small and he continues, but only time will tell for that one. But ultimately, during his time on the field, I think he was effective. His kicking was good. His passing range was good. You know, he did cause problems for the Reds, so I'm going to give him a solid 7 on this. Ultimately, this is just my opinion on ratings. I'd love to hear yours. In terms of the bench, I'm giving the bench a solid 8 because I think the performances that were given, the performances from when all the substitutions came on, like your Ellis Gange, Ryan, really saw the game take a change, which is where we really started to see a lot of the points come through, which is why they were able to win 52-12. Second half, they did not let the Reds get on the board at all. Different tempo, different level of player. I felt Ellis Genge. I'm going to give outright give Ellis Genge like an 8.5. Personally, I do still feel Porter will probably end up getting the opening spot up against the Australia, but Genge is putting good reason. He's playing better than Porter is. He is playing better than Porter is. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe as always. It really does help the channel grow. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.